Hi everybody, it's Jordan Basor. I'm going to walk you through how to access your student's Reading Plus account. The only students that have a Reading Plus account will be in a Tier 2 reading intervention class. If your student isn't in that class, then they likely will not have an account with this program. If your student is on Reading Plus already, they will most likely have the Reading Plus website favorited on their bookmarks bar. You can click on this or you can go to the website directly. You can go to readingplus.com. It will take you to this screen. This is the home page where you can then access the login. You're going to click on Student Login. This is where your student will likely already have their information saved on this screen. If they don't, the site code is RP Loftus MS. I will post that below this video so you can access it later. When your student logs in, this is what they will see. You're going to see a highlights bar. This is just going to be some straight up information about your child's reading profile. It will show their reading rate at how many words per minute they're reading, their reading goal and how many words they have already read, and the last 5 stories that they have read in their Reading Plus account. That's going to be their reading profile. Your student will likely skip right over all of this information, but there is a bar down here at the bottom that says More Info. If you click on the More Info, it's going to show you how close your student is to achieving their next bump up or their next level up. They're going to move up to the next step very soon. Then it's going to show some different scores that you have achieved on lessons. When you hover over a lesson, it will show you the story that they read, the score that they achieved, and how many words were in that story. Let's go back up to the top and click on this orange Start Lessons button. Your student's goal is going to be identified by the amount of boxes that show up in these screens. Because we are already in middle school, many of your students will not have any goals in the visual skills category. We don't worry about those at this level. We're really wanting to focus more on these vocabulary and reading skills. So once a student completes a lesson, it will fill these boxes with a check mark. The green is going to mean that they've received an 80% or higher. Yellow is between a 70 and 79, and anything below a 70 is going to be a red box. If they receive a yellow or a red box, we ask the student to redo the lesson. They may not be able to reread that exact story, but if they have 5 boxes for their goal, then they need to have 5 green check boxes. That means that they've received 80% or higher on those 5 lessons. And that goes for the vocabulary as well. When you click on the reading category, it's going to allow the student to select from a group of stories based on the filters that they have chosen when they started this program. Their choices are based on their level, how many words are in each story. Down at the bottom, it's going to show the progress where they have received at that letter level and then how many they need to get to unlock the next level. And it resets on Sunday nights. If they get 2 80% in a row, this is called a combo. In class, sometimes we reward combos. You can choose to do that at home if you want, with a piece of candy or maybe a 5-minute break to look at their phone or whatever encourages your student. I'm going to just click a random story here just to let you see what this program looks like when your student is reading. I'm going to go ahead and click just so you can see. There's a little blurb about the text, and it says immigrants to the United States had to pass physical examinations, and a chalk mark on the shoulder indicated their result. Start this lesson just so people can see what the guided window looks like. It's going to give your student a little bit of a blurb about the text before they start reading, because once they start, they can't stop. The space bar is going to be their way to go on, or they can click go on. This is the guided window. As your student reads the story, they have to follow this guided window. It seems kind of annoying to us as fluent readers, but to help a student that's struggling with reading, it really pushes along their reading so their eyes are trained to go from left to right, top to bottom. This is how their screen should look when they are actively reading a story in Reading Plus. If they happen to be at a check mark point, they may not have the guided window. To pause, all your student has to do is hit the space bar. They can also see how many pages the story is by this dark gray bubble here. So as the story reads through, the guided window will just continue to go through each of the pages. If your student notices that their G-rate window is too fast or too slow, all they need to do is send their intervention teacher an email and we can get that reset. As they hit the space bar, it's going to progress through the story. Okay, now that we're here, it's going to ask us to rate the book or the story. And then this is what the questions look like. What is the main idea of this section? And it'll give you a multiple choice option here. When you answer it correctly, it shows a green here. The genre of this section could be described as contemporary fiction, classical fiction, science fiction, or historical fiction. And here's a reread. It gives you 2 for this story, but you can use them if you need them. If you know the answer to the question, go ahead and answer it and don't use your reread. But if you're not sure, go ahead and click on the reread and it's going to show you the passage of the text that the answer shows up in. So we know that this is historical fiction because it's based on historical facts, but it is a fictional story. So I got this question correct. Here's where I'm going to get one wrong because I didn't actually read the story, but it does give us options and we have one reread left. So I'm just going to click this one. I'm also going to click frustration and then I can click go on. Both of those answers were incorrect. Luckily, it does give your student the option to look at the text again and then re-answer the question. So then they can choose their answers again, and once they select, and they'll click go on. I'm going to click anticipation here and uneasiness. So now that I got that question correct on the second time through, it gave me a yellow, which is going to take my points down a little bit. Then it's going to ask you another question, you'll answer, and then click go on, and you'll go on through all of the questions. Once all of the questions are completed, it will take you back to the dashboard and show your student what they got for that lesson, a green, yellow, or a red. If you have any questions, drop a question below this video and I will try to get back to you as quickly as I can. Hope this helps, parents. Join us again for our next Parent University.